Cayman Islands.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services.
And Total Health in Grand Pavilion. Change the way you manage your family's health. Visit www.totalhealth.ky or call 333-2222.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Here's your host, Anita Khan.
A pleasant good morning to everyone. It's 28 minutes until 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the Business Buzz. This is our first segment. I want to say good morning to Susan, our producer of the Buzz. She's holding it down as usual this morning. Susan, do you have a sleep? I want to say good morning to all of those of you watching via YouTube. And, of course, good morning to our guests in the studio. Today we showcase art. Art. We're going to showcase a different art form today. In this segment, we'll put the focus on seeds. Our guest in the studio is Artisan Justine Jervis. Justine, this is her company, and we'll talk about how a hobby has turned into a small handmade jewelry business. Following the 8 o'clock news, we've got 8 o'clock news, traffic, and weather. We'll be speaking with Mr. Ralph Lewis. Ralph is the CEO, publisher of Caymanian Times. So we'll just jump in and say good morning to our guests in the studio. Good morning, Justine.
Good morning, Miss Anita. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
We've been trying to get you in the studio for a long time to talk about hobby now turned business, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Justine, how did you get involved with jewelry making?
To be honest, it was just there. I always did it from a while now. Since I was small, I've been making on and off random pieces of jewelry or keychains or anything art. And then as time went on, I started and stopped and got back into it, gave it a break, did other things with my life. And then all of a sudden the pandemic hit, of course. And then I was just there working from home. And I was like, I can do something else in my spare time or time that I have on the weekend. So I was like, okay, let me just get back into my hobby that I was so passionate about. And I found myself making more things as time went on. So I'm like, I have all these things. I make for myself, I make for my friends and family. Why not turn this into a business? So I took my time, looked at markets all over the place, got myself into these markets, and I saw that people were interested in what I was making. So I'm like, okay, cool. This is a good little start. And this was around February, so it was a bit into slow season. So I was discouraged a little bit. But as time went on, it got back into the busy season, and this is when business started picking up. So I'm like, okay, cool. People like these as gifts. People like handmade stuff, especially here in the Cayman Islands.
I do too.
So why not do this more and more? I can't do it full time, but why not put more time into it? Do different things, do other mediums of art, and see where that goes. So this is where I am today. I have a little Instagram page, and it's going well so far. I'm pretty happy with where I am. I'm not anywhere that it's taking me aback or making me feel discouraged or putting me off from it. So I'm just taking my time and seeing how far I can get with this.
Awesome. Well, we're glad you're in the studio this morning so we can talk about it. The name of your company is Seeds, right?
Yes, Seeds Sun KY.
What's in the name?
So, I mean, one day I was just thinking around, like, what can I do with the name? And I wanted the word Caribbean in it. And I was like, oh, this is too long. This is not catchy. So I looked outside and I was like, okay, we're not far from the beach. Sea, sand, sun. So what if I can put a little twist on that? So seeds, because the type of bead that I work with, which is seed bead, which is one of the smallest beads you can find out there. Oh. And a lot of people don't like to work with seed beads. So I was like, okay, seeds, sand, KY. So I'm like, okay, cool. Has a little nice ring to it. So I stuck with it.
So it's seeds, sand, Cayman.
No, seed sun.
Oh, sun.
Yes.
Oh, not hearing too good today. Hello.
No, it's okay.
Seeds, sun, Cayman. All right. I love it. Now, you talk about the type of the bead that you have on right now, the earrings.
Yes.
Right? Those are small, they are tiny.
Yes, they are.
I can't even thread a needle. So
You have to use a specific type of needle. So like
Okay.
if you're into art or like sewing and stuff, you'll know like different types of needles or
Right.
different types of beads. So the needle that I use for this one is size 10, which is is a long needle, but it has like a thin hold so that certain thicknesses
Right.
of thread can fit through.
Okay.
And yeah, the type of seed bead that I use is size 11 ohm, and it goes
11
all the way down to 15 ohm.
Okay. Now, what types of jewelry do you offer? Do you earrings, necklace?
Yes, I do those as well.
Okay.
I also make bracelets. I'm kind of on hold on the bracelets because I want to make them more durable, not just for women but for men as well. Also, I'm still going through a trial and error phase of string because I find that the string that I use now it stretches too much where it's slack on person's hands, and I personally don't like that. I like when my things are nice and prim and
Tight.
almost
Right.
perfect. But yeah, so I offer those. I want to venture into waist beads because I know that's a pretty popular type of jewelry that women especially wear. I'm also experimenting and doing my research on that as well. I also offer keychains.
Oh.
I have some with me now, if you
Okay.
don't mind.
All right. Well, put them out to the room. But while you're looking for that, do your earrings? Do you make them with just Do you use, what do you call it again? The clip-on ones. Clip-on. Do you make clip-on?
I personally don't. I can,
Okay.
but if it's like a custom order and you have like certain things like, okay, for example, earring jewelry allergies or your ears are not pierced, I can do those. I would just have to go out and source the material, and depending on how much the material costs, then I have to factor that into my costs as well.
Okay.
So sometimes it may not be economically beneficial, if that's a real thing. So I would just stick to certain types of bases.
Yeah. I can't wear those because I don't have pierced ears.
Oh,
So I'm always
oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
so I'm always looking for earrings with hoops, and they're rare. I mean, clip-on, and they're rare to find. And just a few weeks ago, somebody gifted me a pair. A family member gifted me a pair of earrings, and they're not clip-ons, and I couldn't wear them. I can't wear them.
Well, I mean, for me, I try and work with people as much as possible. So, like, if it's something that I can see that can be amended, then I can say, hey, I can do this for you at a certain price. Like, I can change out the finding, which is what it's called,
Okay.
and switch it out for a clip-on piece. So
Okay, we're gonna put those up here on the stage so Susan can highlight that one. All right, now we'll do them during the break.
okay.
So, but in the meantime, you use clay.
yes,
Was it polymer
it's
clay?
polymer clay.
Okay.
Yes.
What is it like working with clay, and what are some of the products that you can produce from
Or
the
you
clay?
can produce whatever comes to your mind, really.
Is it durable?
Yes, I've seen people do. I'm still learning to work with it, so I've only done earrings so far, and I've done 2 types of clay.
Okay.
But I've seen people make jewelry trinket trays. I've seen people do earrings. I've seen people do bracelets, like beads themselves that they make out of the clay itself. I've seen that as well. And they make you can make anything that comes to your mind, really, as long as it's feasible. To be honest, so.
Okay. Now, walk us through the process of preparing and making the various pieces of jewelry. You have one in front of you right now. It looks, I'm not sure what that one is. What is it, a key ring?
Yes,
That's
this is
earring.
a
All right,
keyring.
we'll put it up for our viewers to see it in a little bit, but it's really pretty.
Thank you. I actually just made that one last night.
Oh,
So like
okay.
if I'm bored and I'm like, I can do this or I can make this, then I'll gather my supplies together and I'll just sit by my computer desk and just bead while I watch YouTube or listen to music, and I would finish it in
That's a
reasonable
very
time.
happy hobby to have. Right, Susan? I can macrame or I can do a little bit of batik, but other than that, no, I buy my jewelry. Or my cousin will make mine. She'll send them
Oh,
for me, or stuff like
nice.
that. No, do you custom order?
Yes, I do custom order, but I find that they don't come in as frequent. I don't know if it's because people don't really have that creative aspect of them. Not putting people down, obviously, but we're all different. So like not everybody can be like creative in their own mind. So sometimes I hear people like, give me an idea or what do you think looks good? I'm like, okay, cool. I see people like want my input on it, and it makes me feel all the more inclined to make certain things with my twist on them, because people want to see different things. People want different. I find here in Cayman, people want different. Like everything's the same. People are the same. Things are the same. Places are the same. So people strive to see something different.
Yeah. I've seen one in a movie where the actress she had on, it was sort of attached to her gown, but it was really pretty. It just draped around her. It was a backless dress, sort of. So that piece of jewelry just draped her back. And now when I found like that, so now I know who can custom make jewelry for us. No, jewelry making is tedious, but if you love it, it's just a hobby, right? So you really enjoy doing this?
I do. I find that it helps take away like certain things, like negative. So like if I have a bad day or if I hear bad news, then I can just be like, it sits with me. Bad news sits with me, and I don't tend to display it outwardly because I'm not that kind of person. So I would just kind of keep to myself, and I know like certain things like that will affect you not only mentally but physically. So why not channel this energy, channel it out into something positive? Some people like colors, some people like intricate things, some people like complex designs, and it's like, do this. It helps, and it does help me, because at the end of the day, like if I make something, my mind is taken off of what negative happened that day or what happened to me in a negative like sort of way.
So basically you turn negativity into something beautiful.
Right.
Oh, I love it. On that note, we'll go to break. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center and Total Health. We have in the studio Miss Justine Jervis. Justine is her company is called Seeds Sun Cayman KY. That's right. We're going to take that break soon.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
James Manoah Barton Sr., 1930 to 1988, national hero.
The man affectionately known as Mr. Jim is Cayman's first national hero. He was a visionary, charismatic politician known for his common touch. Mr. Jim was a true son of the soil, a descendant of the first governor of the islands, and one of the builders of Pedro St. James Castle. He and his wife, Dorothy Nee Foreman, had 2 children, helped pass laws intended to preserve the Caymanian way of life.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Homeowners, protecting your family and property is crucial during the season, and you should always assess insurance needs long before a storm makes landfall. Most insurers won't issue new policies or increases when a storm is imminent. Cayman Insurance Center's team of professionals can help owners like you find the most comprehensive coverage and competitive rates. Call the insurance professionals at Cayman Insurance Center 949-4657 or email info@cic.com.ky. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call Cayman Insurance Center's insurance professionals today at 949-4657.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. Good morning. How are you doing this morning? It's a beautiful day on the outside. It's a little bit, looks like it's overcast. It was overcast earlier at 6 o'clock. I'm not sure about now. I haven't looked outside. But if you're just joining us, thank you so much for doing so. We love to have you keep us company. Myself and Susan, we're in the studio with our guest this morning. Susan is holding it down, and my guest is with me. And it's Justine Jervis. Justine is very young, very, very, very creative. I've known her since she was in the stomach, put it that way. And we have some of our pieces on display. Susan, you got a shot of that? Yeah. Now, if you're listening by way of radio and cannot see what Justine has on display in the studio, it's she's got how many pairs? 4 pairs of earrings. Is that 4? No, 5. 5 pairs of earrings. That one is hiding over there, and they are absolutely beautiful. My favorite is these are small beads. Did you just call them small beads? Is there a particular name for them?
I mean, you can say small beads, but there are different types of small beads.
Okay, right. But you've blended the colors so beautiful. You've got purple, and then there's a bit of gold, and then there's blue, and the way you've just balanced it out, it's beautiful. And then there's another one that's pink and sort of an aqua-looking color. And then there's a black with brown and white. It's got a heart shape at the top. They're just pretty. Really, really nice.
Thank you so
really
much.
creative. So how can someone purchase these? Plus, you've got a key ring.
Right.
And the key ring, it's a bottle that you can, I guess, maybe put your pills in or something. And
You can put anything
inside.
fit in there, really.
Yeah, maybe some air freshener, some lavender or something.
Something.
You know? Yeah, but it can hold a lot, quite a lot. And it has a cover, and of course, it has a clip for your keys. But it's so decorative, I won't put my keys on it because it's very pretty. Now, where can I find these pieces, Justine?
So basically, I have an Instagram page. It's at seeds.sun.ky. And you can reach out to me there via direct message and send me a message on what you want. Or if you have a custom order, you can reach out to me the same way. I also have an email address. It's the same, seeds.sun.ky@outlook.com. And my number is 323-6436. You can reach out if you have any questions, if you have any orders, or you want to buy something, or you're interested. You can always reach out to me and I will get back to you. Also, there are markets sometime throughout the year. Usually you don't really find any markets during the summer months because it's so, but when it's busy season, especially in December, there's a lot of markets, and I try my best to get into these markets. Sometimes I don't get in because of space, but majority of the time I'm able to find a booth and you can find me there. I always try and put this out on social media before the actual event, so to give people a heads up.
Okay. No, they're so pretty. I can look at them all day, especially the purple. Purple is my favorite color, but they're all pretty, very pretty. And like I said, I just love how you blend the colors. So it's just so well put together. Now, you know what I would like to see, Justine, is some of those beads stitch in on. I know someone who does crochet swimwear. You know, 2 pieces and stuff like that. Can you? Is that possible to put some of that into, not crochet, because I mean it's small. The holes are small to get the thread, the crochet thread through.
Well, it depends, because you can also kind of make like a design on a
fabric.
Yeah, on a fabric, like felt, for example, because I think felt holds the beads in place to give you the design you want. You can do that and then cut out the design and stitch it onto the crochet material.
Or any other fabric, as a matter of fact.
That can hold the piece. It all depends.
I can just see something crochet. Now, what are your favorite, which pieces are your, I'm sure these are not the ones favorite here, but I'm sure there's a favorite piece somewhere that you're always thinking about, always referring to?
To be honest, the flower design, because I do short flowers and long flowers, which is what's there. The long flowers are my favorite, but my all-time favorite would have to be the sunset design that I did. That was actually a custom that a schoolmate of mine ordered for her friend as well. That one and my original one that I made for myself had to be my favorites. But I've done so much over the years, so much little knickknacks, I guess you could say, that I truly think from time to time, and I actually miss, because the materials that I used to make them aren't around anymore, and it's to me a bit hard to source materials here that I personally like to use, because I don't like to just make anything and it's not up to my standards of quality. I like putting in passion into my work. I like presentation. I believe presentation is definitely important. So.
I love it. You know, I've seen those pieces where especially in the African movies, where the girls, they have a piece around
the waist.
The waist.
Yes.
Have you ever made any of those?
I haven't made any.
Okay.
I have the I guess you can say contraption to use to make it. I just need the string. And my thing is that they are supposed to be permanent, so you have to tie them in a certain way and leave them. But there are other people who like the aesthetic of it, who just want to wear it and be able to take it off. So I'm also trying to cater to that as well. So
do you have any customers who want those? Or?
A few people have asked me over the past year that I've been doing this. They've asked me on Marcus, like, do you offer waist pieces? I have to unfortunately I said no, not yet. Customer service, I'm pretty sure you're good at this, Justine, because I can tell you cater to your customers. Yeah, I try my best to. Sometimes I don't always get it right, and I admit that, because I'm not perfect. I don't try and claim to be perfect. I just try my best personally, and sometimes it does get a bit tedious, because people want specific things. They want them in a certain way, and it kind of gets discouraging, because you want to bring smiles to people's faces when they see your work. You want them to be like, oh my goodness, this is astounding, lovely. So that part of it is, I guess, one of the negatives. But overall, people are genuinely interested in things made by Caymanians. They don't want to see manufactured trinkets. They don't want to see manufactured stuff like made in China.
Absolutely
they want things made authentic from here, and I take a whole of that idea and try and input it into my things. So
awesome. I was talking to your mom the other day, and she said, oh, Justine, she's always proud of her Justine, right? Of course, like any mom. And she's like, Justine went to Little Cayman with her friend, a friend, and you guys had a class.
Right.
You taught a class.
Yes.
You want to share that?
Sure.
If you don't mind?
No, of course I don't mind. So I met her at one of the markets as well. She's a lovely, lovely lady. Her name is Debbie. And she actually owns a store called Chasing the Sun.
This is in...
It is across from Kirk Supermarket, in that little plaza there by
Right.
Kirk Marine. So she actually asked me, and she's like, hey, would you like to assist me with this class that I'm doing in the Brack? It was an art class.
Oh, it's Kim and Brack.
Little Cayman, sorry.
Okay, Little Cayman.
It was right there. So she asked me if I would like to assist her, and I said, yes, sure, of course. So we actually went over there for the day, and it was for a family reunion for the owner of, I believe it's Southern Cross. I think.
Southern Cross. Okay.
The resort was, but those people were absolutely lovely. They loved those things that they made, and in helping them bring out their creative side, that makes me happy as well. Helping people find what brings them joy, what brings them life, and hearing people's stories on why they're making this design, why are they putting this out there, and for them to keep it, it makes it even more personal to them, and that also brings joy as well. So
would you teach, would you do, like sometimes people have like what do you call them, bachelorette parties and stuff like that,
right?
Really want to have like a craft, someone teach them some craft, Do you do stuff like that?
She does at the Marriott. It's on certain Thursdays. She usually advertises it on her Instagram as well, which is at Chasing the Sun Cayman. My things, people don't have the patience for, so I can't really sit there and say, okay, you gotta loop this under and go through this. Like, people don't have the patience. So my stuff, not quite, but her stuff, definitely, she has classes for.
Okay, so I can find your stuff at Chasing the Sun.
Yes.
And this is across from Kirk Supermarket.
Right, correct.
Okay. Now, how do I know it's Justine's stuff? Your pieces.
My stuff is kind of standout. It stands on itself because you don't really see people working with seed beads here in Cayman, as far as I've seen. Of course, there's been one or two people working with this sort of, I guess you can say, medium, but within recent times, from what I can see, I'm the only one doing this. So my stuff stands out on its own. You can find other lovely things there. You can find Caymanite jewelry. You can find hand-painted scarves. You can find clothes designed by Debbie as well. You can also find lionfish and green iguana jewelry.
Nice.
So you just have to come and see what's there. Okay. I can't explain. Words don't do it justice.
Yes, you hear that? Go on in, Chasing the Sun, and check out all the art, the local jewelry up in there. Now, Justine, I want to thank you so much, and I wish you all the very best as you continue with your craft. And I want to see some of those funky pieces and all that. All right, congrats and keep doing what you do best.
Thank you so much for having me here. I really and truly appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. Miss Susan had fun hooking up with you. So we'll see you next time. We want to, feedback on how all this is going when you become rich and famous, especially. We're going to take a quick break, bring you the news, traffic, and weather. Susan's got it all locked in. And following that, we'll have Mr. Ralph Lewis back on segment 2 of The Buzz. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Caymanian Insurance Center and Total Health.
Thank you, Anita. And studio time now by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
Hey, have you started preparing for hurricane season yet?
Not yet. I'm not sure where to start.
Well, making a grocery shopping list is a good place to begin. You'll want to stock up on non-perishable food items like canned goods, peanut butter, and crackers.
What about water?
Definitely. You'll want to have plenty of bottled water on hand. And don't forget about hygiene and first aid supplies.
That's a good point.
Foster's has a great emergency kit checklist online. Just go to fosters.ky or look out for the helpful signs when shopping in store. Foster's. Better because we care.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brack to Little Cayman. we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. In addition to hearing from several developers at their bi-monthly meeting tomorrow, the Central Planning Authority will also discuss an expanded parking lot for Cricket Square in Georgetown. The current use is listed as 2 dwellings, with the proposed use as a paved parking lot with 27 spaces. The Department of Environment has weighed in, describing the project as, quote, poor use of land, despite the site already being man-modified and of limited ecological value. The DOE adds that there is an intention of the government through the Georgetown Revitalization Plan to improve walkability and accessibility in central Georgetown, and that large paved areas can, quote, discourage walking and decrease the vibrancy and liveliness of streetscapes, as well as contribute to environmental issues such as greenhouse gas emissions. The DOE says large paved areas can contribute to heat island effect, raising local temperatures and leading to increased energy consumption to meet cooling demand. The impermeability of paving materials also, quote, increases stormwater drainage demand, not only for the site, but also the surrounding area. The DOE is recommending that the applicant consider the incorporation of sustainable design features to help mitigate some of the environmental impacts associated with traditional single-level parking lots. The department says the integration of renewable energy sources, such as solar panels over the parking, should be considered to help offset the additional cooling demand resulting from the additional paved area, as well as improve the utilization of the land by adding other beneficial functions. The meeting is taking place tomorrow at GAB and is open to the public. The Ministry of Investment, Innovation, and Social Development has announced that in coming months they will be implementing the Financial Assistance Act 2022, which will see the Needs Assessment Unit become the Department of Financial Assistance. This transition includes an increase in financial assistance to older persons, seafarers, veterans, and those living with disabilities made last week. Further, the ministry is also undertaking legislative reform on the Children's Act and the Adoption of Children's Act to enhance safeguarding provisions for kids and ensure international best practices are applied and upheld. And the Family Resource Center is inviting parents to sign up for their upcoming world-class parenting program.
The programs are all free to the public and are designed to help parents and caregivers develop tools and strategies to parent confidently. Now, the FRC offers over 10 programs, including the SNAP program from August to December, and parents are invited to learn more about this during two virtual information sessions that are scheduled for this Tuesday, the 15th of August, as well as Tuesday, the 22nd of the month. Now, the FRC is a government agency under the Department of Counseling Services within the Ministry of Health and Wellness. They offer the sessions to give parents and caregivers the opportunity to speak directly to program organizers and learn how the FRC can assist them on their parenting journey.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News with Emily Thomas. The BBC has learnt that 3 Bulgarian nationals have been held in custody in Britain since February on suspicion of spying for Russia. They've now been charged with possessing identity documents with improper intention. The passports and identity cards are said to be for a number of European countries. The 3 have lived in English suburbia for years, working in a variety of jobs. Donald Trump and his allies have condemned criminal charges brought against them by the US state of Georgia and accused the district attorney of political interference. The indictment lists 13 counts against the former president, who's accused of engaging in a criminal enterprise to overturn the result of the last presidential election in the state. Russia's central bank has hiked its key interest rate by a massive 3.5%. The authorities are trying to halt the plummeting value of the ruble, which yesterday passed the 100 to the dollar mark. In the past few minutes, the regional bloc, ECOWAS, has said that West African army chiefs are to meet in Ghana this Thursday and Friday to prepare for a possible intervention to restore democracy in Niger, which suffered a military coup last month. Japan has issued a heavy rain alert in Tottori Prefecture on the main island of Honshu as a powerful storm batters the region. The weather agency says Typhoon Lang has dumped a month's worth of rain in some areas. Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock has cancelled a trip to Australia, New Zealand and Fiji after her government plane had to make an emergency landing for the second time in 2 days. She said it was now logistically impossible, calling this more than annoying. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
The Department of Lands and Survey is pleased to invite the community to their Customer Appreciation Day on Thursday, the 31st of August from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Government Administration Building on Elgin Avenue. There will be refreshments, prize giveaways, and demonstrations. The Lands and Survey Customer Appreciation Day, Thursday, the 31st of August from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Government Administration Building.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 86 degrees. Relative humidity is 86%. The barometric pressure is 29.94 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east-southeast at 6 knots. Overnight low temperature was 79 degrees. Synopsis indicate an upper level system southwest of the Cayman area, and the passage of a surface trough will continue to support showers and thunder over the Cayman area. A decrease in showers and thunder is expected by this afternoon as the system and surface trough moves further west of the Cayman area. Radar images show isolated showers mostly southwest of our area, moving towards the northwest. Now, the forecast for today, calling for partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers and thunder, and temperatures will be in the low 90s with a heat index of 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be east to southeast 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. The forecast for tonight, calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures dipping to the upper 70s tonight. Winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet for tonight as well. High tide will be this morning at 8:46, low tide this afternoon at 3, and a high tide again tonight at 9:35. The sun will set this evening at 6:52 and will rise tomorrow morning at 7 minutes past 6. And the outlook is calling for light winds and seas expected through Thursday morning. That's the very latest on your weather report.
Advice from your Aunt Angie. If you want to go scuba diving on your vacation, don't bedazzle your wetsuit. And you think you look great, but what you don't realize is that you look like a shiny, scaly fish. And it won't take long for a shark to notice you. Next thing you know, you're busting out every karate move you got. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance and get airlifted out to the closest hospital.
Get coverage for emergency evacuations. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong series. The Cayman Strong series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking, change your life. Developing your emotional awareness can have profound effects on your life.
As Daniel Goleman said in his book entitled Emotional Intelligence, people who cannot marshal some control over their emotional life fight inner battles that sabotage their ability for focused work and clear thought, whereas people with well-developed emotional skills are more likely to be content and effective in their lives, mastering the habits of mind that foster their own productivity.
Change your thinking, change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong series. The Cayman Strong series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Top of the morning to you. Let's take a look at what's happening on our roads. Coming off of the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way, traffic is steady. And steady traffic coming off of Bobby Thompson Way. Some slight delays expected as you continue on to Huldah Avenue. As we look to the east, moderate flow of traffic on Shamrock Road and Rex Creighton Boulevard. Linford Pearson Highway traffic is moderate in both directions. On Cool Road, heading to Georgetown, steady traffic, slight delays expected. Heading east on Cool Road, traffic is moderate and traffic flowing at a good pace on Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue. And coming from the Westway four-way stop as well. Edward Street, light to moderate traffic flow as well as on Owen Roberts Drive. Coming off of the Astley Tibbetts Highway, traffic is moving on moderately and continuing on to the Industrial Park area. Moderate flow of traffic in both directions on North Sound Road. That's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Have a good morning and click it or ticket.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. It's 15 and a half after 8 o'clock. This is our second segment, and we have in the studio this morning, as promised, Mr. Ralph Lewis. Ralph is the CEO, publisher of Caymanian Times, and he's here to share about Conversations, or the Conversations series, what's coming up in the new series, and what he's learned so far, the mistakes that he has made. I'm just kidding. Ralph, good morning.
Good morning, Anita.
How are you?
I'm doing well. It's great to be back.
Okay. You know, I can make those jokes, all right?
Of course.
All right. So, Ralph, how has it been so far?
Well, we actually are on our 2 weeks 2-month summer break, and the first series ended the end of June. So we're on our 2-month summer break, which is July and August, and we're getting ready to launch again in September.
September.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so you started this one again?
That was in April.
April. Okay. So you have how many shows you had so far?
About 14 shows.
14 shows, Ralph.
Yes. 14
wow,
shows.
you're outdoing yourself.
No, well, we decided to have 4 a week.
Mhm.
You know, and of course there's some weeks that have like an extra week and a half a week.
Okay, so in
ended
case
14
our
shows.
listeners don't know, and our viewers don't know who Ralph Lewis is, Ralph is, like I said, he's the CEO, the publisher of Caymanian Times newspaper. And this newspaper, of course, was a formerly Employment Weekly.
Yes.
And it was established in 2013, March 2013 to be exact,
Yes.
by you, Ralph. And this was to provide employment advertising and stats in the Cayman Islands. And, of course, you're a 30-year banking veteran.
Yes.
You hold a degree in banking from the Institute of Canadian Bankers, and you're also a certified financial counselor. You've spent 10 years in senior management positions in various financial institutions in the Cayman Islands. And in September 2016, the newspaper was upgraded to the international format, and
Yes.
today is considered a major news outlet in the Cayman Islands. And you continue to influence, positive
Yes.
journalism.
Yes, that's what we're here for, and we're proud to be 10 years with Cayman with the newspaper. It's now called Caymanian Times, and that is so timely. It's all about Caymanian, and the Times, what's happening today, and so we go from strength to strength, and so our latest our project was basically the talk show, Caymanian Conversations.
Mm-hmm. Now, Ralph, you still do have your online. Caymanian Times is still online.
Yes.
So, the conversation series is in addition to printed newspaper.
Yes.
Online news.
Yes.
And now you have the conversation
Yes.
series. What days do you have those series, those
Okay.
conversations?
Well, when we start in September, we have a couple of things that we're going to tweak, which is one to talk about. We always learn from our experiences and make it better. So the first 3 months gave me a chance to sort of get going. And the next 2 months, like what we're doing now, we're now looking at how we can make it better and have a wider reach, get more information, make sure that we had the right type of guests, find out what our listeners want to hear, and find out how the sponsors are willing to sponsor the show. So we actually combine it with the print newspaper, with the website, and the social media platforms. And so you have all in one. So the talk show actually is on YouTube, Facebook, and on a radio station. And we use Bobo FM in the first 3 months. And also, after every program is recorded, we write an article on that conversation. And that has been doing very well.
Okay.
So we have a reach of a number of platforms, and that's what makes it just so good.
Who are some of the guests you had so far?
It's so much. We had the Minister of Tourism a number of times. We had recently Dr. Gent. We have a recording to play very soon from him. Dr. Gent. We had the Hazard Management Team. Daniel Coleman and Mr. I keep forgetting his name, but he's the man in charge of weather.
Mr. Tibbetts.
Mr.
John
Tibbetts. John
Yes.
Tibbetts.
How can you forget John?
I know.
He'd be very offended, Ralph.
Actually, I forgot his name on the show, by the way. This
That's
show. But I keep mixing him up with, I keep calling him Foster, John Foster.
Oh.
But John Foster was the other weatherman.
That's right.
And that's why I keep saying
right.
Foster in my mind, and it's not Foster, it's Mr. Tibbetts. We had the governors, the previous governor and the new governor. We had Mr. Roy Bodden, and we had Maria Banks. We had, of course, Mr. Michael Miles, and we had a number of professors and teachers from the University College. And they sponsored one of our shows every Monday. And so we were really talking a lot about education and employment. And it keeps going. The list keeps going. We had David Carlton, General Manager, Mr. Matt Langevin, and many guests came on. They were happy.
Listeners on the YouTube viewers probably saying, why on earth would the Business Buzz, have this kind of, interaction? Because Ralph is, we're not competing, Ralph.
No.
We're good. You have your guests, we have our guests, and we love to promote you. Yeah. We see value in all of that.
Well, there are no two people who are the same in this world.
Exactly.
And so we have different minds.
Yes.
We can have a conversation. Yes, we may be in the same industry. Mm-hmm. For example, the newspapers, there are two newspapers, but we're totally different. We write about different things. We even cover the same news story in a different way. So we're all different. So to have two talk shows, hosts talk to each other, is a good thing.
I think so too. We think so.
It's a totally different talk show to what I do.
I think it's nice.
We can talk about the same topics,
right?
But we have different views.
Spin on it. Yeah, that too.
So I love this.
We look at the business aspect of it. Yes. You look at the overall cultural, how it impact the country, and I like that.
And that's how you learn, and that's how you grow. And I think we need to come together a lot more in communities, in the business communities, in hopes, and make.
I hope you can set an example here, Ralph.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about this a little later. Is the bottom line that counts, and and so therefore, once your bottom line is counting,
that's right.
You're good to go.
We're good to go. Now, season 2 of the conversations. When will that begin? Is it?
It's on
September
4th.
September 4th. Okay.
And we have a new format. We're gonna release it today.
Okay.
We'll let people know what to expect.
Well, tell me now.
Well,
time is moving, Ralph.
The whole idea is to get.
Or a hint, as Susan said.
The whole idea is to get more listeners, and so by having that midday slot between 12:30 and 2 was 90 minutes, and we listen to what people are saying, but not everyone was able to take the lunch hour at that point, or they get caught up, or they were listening to somebody else at the same time, but the information was so good. So what we did, we're gonna get 3 20-minute conversations, put them into 1 hour, and then we're gonna play that 1 hour 3 times during the day. So we can have a morning piece, we can have a lunchtime piece, and we can have evening piece.
Okay. So if you miss it, morning, midday, you can catch it on your way home.
Exactly. So it's about replaying this conversation in case I was listening to something at 8 in the morning. I can, even though I can go on YouTube and Facebook and see it, I may want to hear it live. So therefore, I can catch it at lunchtime. Or if I miss my lunch hour on the way home, I can sit. So we're giving people options.
And this is how many days per week?
And it's 4 days per week.
4 days per week. Which days?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Okay.
Friday's over there.
Friday's out.
So it's 4 days per week, but we have the 1 hour show replayed 3 times during the day. That way we'll be able to not only catch more advertisers, but get more listeners.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. So what topics will you be covering in the season 2?
We decided to sort of keep topics the same, maybe for 1 week. So, for example, if we start off with education, we want to try and have some conversations with different people on education for that week. And if we start off on healthcare, let's have a few conversations on healthcare. So we're going to have themes during the weeks. And also, so we can start off with some more education, because what we found was that, and if you listen to our shows in the first series, UCCI was sort of headlining it, and there's so much opportunities for training Caymanians in different new industries which weren't taken up. So we wanted people to know that these things are out there, not only UCCI, but the Public Works have the training center, the other areas have training center, ICCI, and so there's so many opportunities in the Cayman Islands, and so many scholarships available. So anyone who's not working, who wants to improve their knowledge and want to get some qualification, there are opportunities in other industries that pay good money available in the Cayman Islands. And so
don't we have like Superior Auto in those places, smaller businesses that teach mechanics and stuff like that?
Exactly, yes. But the mindset is not only in the banks and law firms or those kind of industries that you have well-paying jobs. The other well-paying jobs in the other areas, in construction, in mechanics, in air conditioning,
electrical. You know how much I paid a guy
even tourism,
to fix
guys,
my electricity
good jobs
problem?
in there. Yes. So there are other, even healthcare. I mean, the nurses program, I was impressed, and to see how many nurses were coming through that program and what they were doing. But we will all need a nurse at some point in our life. So,
but Ralph, are you saying broadcasting is a dying profession? Because you didn't mention broadcasting. We're not going to go there, right?
No, the country will not survive without functioning media. So broadcasting is here to stay. News is here to stay. Media is here to stay. So it is something that
traditional radio is here to stay.
It's something that's integral to our life and our livelihood and survival. Hurricane season is here, and you know where people need to tune into to get the right information. Richard Cayman. And I have a little word for Richard Cayman, a little plug for Richard Cayman later on today, but will remind me to tell you before we leave.
Let me make a note. Now, these series, these conversations, will they be live, Ralph, or are they videotape? Of course, you're videotape because you're replaying now, you're rebroadcasting. Yeah. So,
yes,
definitely.
The majority of them will be recorded.
Okay.
And I'm a one-man army. In many ways. And so therefore I am mindful of my time. Yes, I will be hosting the event. I'll probably do the intros and the breaks between, but you want to spend time with your interviews and your conversations, not have to rush somebody to get in there at 12:30 to talk to me for 20 minutes. So therefore plan it. So now I'm recording those conversations before.
Okay.
And so therefore we can take our time, we can schedule them. If anything goes wrong with the equipment that has happened, we can fix that. So therefore I just replay those conversations. And
it's more fun life though.
Yes, I agree. It's more fun life. I agree.
But I could see by the time management and getting all that, especially during if you have to do rebroadcast.
For me, I'm a publisher of a newspaper, which is number one for me. So that's my priority.
Right.
So I have to put the focus on that as well. Right. So I have to plan my time well. Now, especially in an economy where things are not as strong as it used to be, I do a lot of the work myself, and I supervise it. So I have to understand that my time is limited as well. So therefore, it gives me the time to tweak things, to go on to something else and get back. So to have it a live show every day between 12 and 2 is a little stretch for me.
It is.
And I'm not getting younger, I need to get my rest. I need to get my afternoon snooze now and then. So
on that note, Ralph, we're going to take a break. Thanks to our sponsors of the Business Buzz, Caymanian Insurance Center and Total Health. Thank you so much for coming on board the Business Buzz. Also, thanks to Ralph Lewis, our guest in the studio on the second segment. Ralph is the CEO, plus he's a publisher of Caymanian Times newspaper.
Homeowners, protecting your family and property is crucial during the season, and you should always assess insurance needs long before a storm makes landfall. Most insurers won't issue new policies or increases when a storm is imminent. Cayman Insurance Center's team of professionals can help owners like you find the most comprehensive coverage and competitive rates. Call the insurance professionals at Cayman Insurance Center 949-4657 or email info@cic.com.ky. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call Cayman Insurance Center's insurance professionals today at 949-4657.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Healthcare Pharmacy, caring about your health for the past 25 years. Radio Cayman's premier health show.
Alzheimer's and dementia, are they the same disorder?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Is heard on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor, where they care about your health. Transfer and refill your prescription online. Visit healthcarepharmacy.ky or call 947-8900. Healthcare Pharmacy, now with a second location in Governor's Square. Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health.
Hey, is your phone slow, overheating, and dropping important calls? Don't fret. This summer, it's time to flip out with Digicel. Introducing the all-new Samsung Flip 4 with its sleek design and cutting-edge features. You'll flip into the summer in style and confidence. This summer, you can grab the all-new Samsung Flip 4, all just for $145. Flip into the summer with Digicel. Visit a Digicel store near you and grab the all-new Samsung Flip 4 and the amazing 7-day Prime Ultra plan today.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
The Business Buzz. You can catch a Business Buzz right here on Radio Cayman on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we have in the studio this morning on this segment, Mr. Ralph Lewis. Ralph, it's good to have you in the studio.
And I love to be here, Susan, and particularly
Anita.
Susan's Anita, I love to be here, and it's so important, I think, about helping small business manage the operations. And so I'd use this opportunity every time I come in here to give advice on small business management. As you mentioned, and thanks for the good introduction, I worked with the bank for a number of years, and after I left the bank, I started my small business consulting. Did a number of presentations at the Chamber of Commerce events, small business events. And so therefore, it's good to have that information and use it in my own experience. And it has benefited me well. And so what we wanted to mention, as we discussed earlier, is about numbers. And just that little experience with a talk show that we started. It is a business. And every time you have a business, you have to look at numbers. So it's not just about talking and have a good conversation. It has to pay for itself.
We have to look at the numbers too,
Yes.
How? Exactly.
Yeah, you have to pay. You have to get a salary.
That's right.
And the equipment has a cost. Run a registration has a cost. So you have to look at numbers. And as we know, advertising pays for most of this. And so for me personally, advertising has to pay for the show. If there's no advertising, the show can't continue because it needs that. And that's the balance. You have to have a product that people will pay for. And so we looked at that sort of thing and had to make adjustments accordingly, which our listeners and our viewers will notice when we start again. But the advice I'm giving to listeners who have a business, you need to keep on top of your numbers. Know your numbers. Know whether you're making a profit or loss. And not once a year. You should do it on a monthly basis. Have a little system. You could use QuickBooks, or if you're not feeling with QuickBooks, use a little spreadsheet, but you track your sales and your expenses, and you see whether you're spending more than you're taking in.
Ralph, before QuickBooks and all that, we had ledger cards.
Yes.
That's probably way before your time.
Yes,
but
it works. It helps. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know where you're going till it's too late. Knowing your numbers, you can make adjustments early. So that it doesn't have a heavy impact on your business, because sometimes you get down that road so far that you can't get back.
Or you
get in the hole so deep you can't get back out, and you have to shut your business down, even though it's a viable business. So knowing your numbers is so important, and just keep track of your expenses and your revenues, and make sure before you start your business, you know where your money is going to come from. Talk to your clients and see how much they are able to pay, and of course collect the money when you bill them. So
that's very important.
That's very important.
That's that's the way how you can keep your numbers going. Now, that will bring us to bank reconciliation.
Yes.
Affecting your profit and loss, Ralph. Let's talk about that. You're the expert here. I've only got the questions. Now, what would cause a bank reconciliation not to balance?
Well, unfortunately, not many people reconcile their bank accounts.
Why is that? Why is that so?
It's just not important to some folks. They trust the system, that the system will always be accurate. Errors happen. Systems make mistakes. People make mistakes. So therefore, reconciling your transactions is important, not only for accuracy, but also you can keep an eye on where you're spending your money. When you reconcile an account, of course, you have to have a description on what that payment is for. And so as you go through those transactions that you've paying money for, written checks for, do bank transfers for, you're able to see where your money is going. And at the end of the month, you say, okay, well, maybe I spent too much on my salaries, too much on my goods, too much on certain services. My electricity bill has gone up now, so instead of 10% of my expenses being electricity costs, it's now 50%. Just an example.
Right.
And
that's a good example.
Yeah. And we do have standards in life, or templates in business life and business arrangements, where we have an idea of what you should be spending on your salaries. And so therefore we know that the salary is normally the highest expense, but there's a percentage of your expenses that should be for certain items. It's like when we do for personal expenses, we know that your mortgage expense should be no more than 30%.
That's right.
But we know that some people are paying over 50% on their mortgage or their rent. So you have a problem right away. So when they can't balance their budget at the end of the month, we know why. Because the percentage that of the salary goes towards your rent or your mortgage is too high. And not enough money is left over for the other important things like food and utilities and the increasing light bill. But that's because of the hot weather, by the way.
That's why they always say, look at your debt ratio.
Yes. So it's important, and that's why it's a reconciliation is good. So reconciling an account helps you to keep track of those things. And on a regular basis, not every 6 months, every year, every month, your reconciliation should be done. QuickBooks automatically does it for you. So that's a good thing. But if you don't have a lot of transactions, like I can do it get my bank statement in less than a half hour, I can do it, because it depends on the number of transactions. And it's always good to put descriptions by your transactions. Make notes on your checkbooks or even in that bank details, because you can't remember where that money went.
Exactly.
And one of the things with financial or personal financial expense, we can't remember where our money went. And try think, well, where did I spend $100 last week? I just can't remember. So you need to be able to track those expenses, especially with a business. And that's where reconciliation is.
Right. Ralph, I think a lot of people, why they don't want to reconcile those bank accounts, because a lot of people, we live beyond our means. So we know we're spending money where we're not supposed to spend it. So we just live in this false sense of, security, and you just don't want to look at it. So you're right. If you start doing this on a monthly basis, you're less likely to run into trouble where you can't pay your, probably even your staff, Because
we figure it will work out. The money will come in. We get no salary. We get no big pay at the end of the month. So therefore, we can keep spending. But that's not the way you plan. And we have to start practicing wise financial management. And that's how you release stress. One of the highest reasons for stress is is financial problems, as we know. But if you keep managing it, yes, things are hard. You're not making as much money now as you did before. But there are things we can do to manage our expense and our income. And at the end of the day, you'll be all right.
So, Ralph, in what ways can you assist businesses who may be in need of advice pertaining to cash flows and collections?
Well, there are a number of agencies that provide those classes. For example, the Chamber of Commerce, they offer those classes. And there's some consultants who are around. But if anyone wants to give me a call, they can at 916-2000, and I'll be able to sit with them for a while. But I can direct them.
Do you charge a fee for that, or?
Yes, I do.
Of course.
But it depends on the volume of work that needs to be done. But I tend to refer them to the right agencies that you can trust. Because not everybody you can tell all your business to. So you want to feel comfortable with who you're sharing that information with, that is confidential. And that's one of the concerns that people have as well. Who do I share my bank statement with?
Exactly.
They just, that will keep that to themselves. So it's good to have someone who has a banking background, who knows about confidentiality, knows the importance of it, and somebody who can direct you and tell you the truth and be honest with you. So that's the direction I would do. If I don't have time to help you with your reconciliation or some advice on how to run your business, I could always refer you to someone who I know can be trusted to do that, who has a business that caters to that. And we do have some agencies here that do that.
Yeah, some of the smaller business, I know of one right now that wrapped up in July. And of course they couldn't pay their bills. So that's kind of hard for them.
Yes.
You know, and it's sort of sad as well. So I see where this is really important. If you're operating a business, you should know where you're headed.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be just sailing.
Yes.
You know, you should know where you should have that projection for at least another couple of years.
Yes.
You know.
And that's why it's important to say know your numbers. I know a number of businesses that are struggling right now and probably will shut down by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Because they've gone too far in that. Like I mentioned, the hole is so deep, and you can't get out of the hole by digging it deeper. So therefore, if you don't know your numbers, you have a problem, because at some point you're going to fail. And you have to understand your pricing point. You can't price yourself off the market, because you will lose all the business. People only pay so much for a product. They know that what the product is worth. It's value for money. And even though in the Cayman Islands we tend to mark up our goods very high, at some point people can't afford to purchase those things anymore, and they're going to stop buying it. And you see it happening from time to time. People stop doing things that they used to do because the price points are too high. Now, what has happened in some companies that the price points is what they use to set their salary levels. So basically, I'm charging X amount of dollars for some goods. I'm going to make some good money. So therefore, I can afford to pay my staff a high salary. Now, one thing you can't walk back is somebody's salaries. It's very hard to reduce the salaries.
Very hard.
We know it because they now have a salary, and all they expected is to go up and up and up, because that's what the salary is. Maybe the work they're doing,
and that's the expectation, right?
That's the expectation. So if your business has a salary payroll that is too high, how do you fix that? Do you keep increasing the cost of your goods to pay your salaries? I know what some people do, make those employees redundant. That's right. At some point, something has to give. So the point is, if you understand your numbers, you understand what people will pay for a certain product, you understand what your business is worth and what your business can pay, then is when you set your salaries. If your salary is more than 50% of your expenses, you have a problem, just like we spoke before. And so you look at those things, and by knowing your numbers, you're able to set the right benchmarks, the right price range, and able to keep your business successful. Some business just can't afford 15, 20 staff. It just would not work, because you have a product and you have a certain market for that product, and only so much you can sell in that market. And so therefore you have to understand that you can only employ so much people. So Ralph, you have your ear on the ground, basically. So in Cayman, how are the small businesses especially doing keeping the numbers in line? Well, a lot of them are managing, and they actually, some of them are taking their own personal funds and putting it into the business. And for example, they may have a main job, and their business is something on the side. And so those small businesses the owners are able to keep it going by using their personal savings. That's how they're doing it. Some of them will hire accountants to do their bookkeeping for them, and some of them do it for themselves. But generally, those who have the know-how. The know-how. But generally, what I've seen happen is that it's not done as often as it should be. And so we wait till the end of the month, and then we have to provide, if you want to go to the bank to get financing, they say, okay, we need your financial statements for the last 2-3 years. So now I have to go and create financial statements based on my activity, but I didn't do some of the things. For example, reconcile my accounts, I have to go back and look at all these things. And the picture that you may show at the end of 3 years is not a good picture. And so that's why it's good to do on a regular basis. You have an idea of what your profit and loss position is. I mean, my financial year ends the end of July. That's how I have it set up. And my financial statements will be finished by the end of August, 30 days after. That's the way it has to be. If I wait till next year or December, we're going to have a problem. Well, you're in big trouble. You will lose track of everything. So that's why knowing your numbers are important. Ralph, we're going to take a quick break. If you're just joining us, this is a Business Buzz.
My name is Anita Khan. I have in the studio Mr. Ralph Lewis. He's the CEO, also the publisher of Caymanian Times newspaper. And it's a pleasure to have him in the studio. Thanks to our sponsors, Caymanian Insurance Center and Total Health.
Back to school, between the uniforms, clothes, and supplies, it can get pricey. Like so many other things in our community, at Total Health, they share your concerns. So, for the month of August, Total Health in Grand Pavilion will be offering free pediatric screening. Childhood diabetes, among other preventable conditions, are on the rise. With Total Health preventative consultations, you can take the steps to safeguard your children today. Call Total Health at 333-2222 to book your free pediatric health consultation. Total Health in Grand Pavilion, change the way you manage your family's health. Visit www.totalhealth.ky or call 333-2222 or email appointments@totalhealth.ky. Total Health is your one-stop convenient family health care solution. From urgent care to pharmacy, all the services of a hospital without the hassle.
RC Fusion, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Monday to Saturday. Brought to you by Puritan Cleaners. Puritan Cleaners, now using the most popular eco-friendly cleaning solvent. Call 949-7104. Puritan Cleaners. You feel good when you look good.
Radio Cayman, your #1 community station, would like to remind you that we are in the hurricane season, and in order to survive a hurricane, you need to be prepared. If official sources say a hurricane is imminent, please board up or shutter up windows in your home or place of business. Remember to use good lumber, as makeshift boarding may actually cause more damage. Also put strong bracing on outside doors so that they are not blown off or blown in.
This hurricane advice was brought to you by Radio Cayman, your caring community radio station.
RC Fusion.
Monday to Thursday.
10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Fridays. Radio Cayman. Biggest variety in the morning. Biggest variety.
RC Fusion.
Following the 10 a.m. news headline. Biggest variety in the morning.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
And we're having that discussion with Mr. Ralph Lewis, publisher of Caymanian Times newspaper. Ralph, we're going to shift gears a little bit and focus on Caymanian Times a little bit. Readers and viewers, listeners, of course, expect. What do they expect from the media business?
Well, listeners and viewers expect an honest platform that can inform them and educate them and keep them up to date with the times. But also, they want some form of entertainment as well. You know, to lay down their hair and relax a bit. So, but they want responsible and on time and, consistent media output, which is important.
Honest,
yes.
credible. We can go on.
Yeah, we can go on.
But what do you think about the saturation of the media landscape in the Cayman Islands, Ralph?
Well, that's something I've been looking at over time, and spending 10 years in media, I've learned so much. And when I go into some things, Anita, I put a lot of energy and effort into it. I do a lot of research to make sure that it's going to last. And so there are a number of things I've been observing over the years as things have changed. Now, if you look at radios, the number of radio stations in the Cayman Islands, I had to look at that this morning. It's quite a bit.
Definite saturation.
It's quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
For a small island.
Did you do a count?
Yes.
14?
14.
14, yeah.
For a small island such as this, we have a lot of radio stations. Now, how many listen to each of them? How many people? So what do people listen to? Now, radio is something that's challenging to understand how much readers you have. Honestly, do a survey, and there are not many surveys being done. No one's asking people who they listen to. Everybody just has a radio station, and I know who I listen to. And when I listen to it, so I can speak to that. But how many people do listen to your radio station or others on a regular basis? What they listen to now with social media, with online websites playing music. People have CDs in the car or
Spotify,
digital stuff. There's so much stuff happening now. So how many people do really listen to radio? And so therefore it's important not only to the business but also to the government. And those people want to get the information out there. How much can we rely on radio and the other forms of media to get our message across? I've been going to some of the government meetings, and I'm surprised with the small turnouts. And I'm asking myself, why aren't people going to these things? And the question I have to answer I get back is, I didn't know. And so therefore, what channel do I use to get the information across? Do I go on every single station, every single newspaper, everything, all over Facebook? It's going to have some cost to it.
The thing is, you have to reach everybody, to reach your audiences, you have to spread yourself.
Yes. So the point I'm making is that, unfortunately, in this environment, we have to spread the information out on all channels to get to the people, because there's so much different channels. So we've split the customer base or split our listeners. And the thing is, once you have so many players in the market, the consistency of what we spoke about, what people listen for or expect, breaks down. And there's no regulator.
No. So what do we do?
So we have to, as individuals who are involved in different media houses, take responsibility and try to get our readers, our listeners, to us, because we know what we have to offer. The plug I want to put for Radio Cayman, you have so much potential right here. And you all can do so much more.
We can do so much more.
And,
I
yes.
absolutely agree.
And
we're working on that.
And the thing is that you have been here from day one. You are the one that was here first. So therefore, that's what people know. You have the opportunity to up your game. It's like a government in power has the leverage to getting back in power again, because they are in power. Same thing. The papers that were in here before, the first ones, they have the opportunity to remain at the forefront if they play the games right and do things the right way. I went to Dominican Republic when I was getting information from my newspaper, and the oldest newspaper in the Caribbean still exists today because they are known.
Longevity.
And visibility and knowledge. When people refer to my newspaper, sometimes they call the Cayman Compass. I got clients that are sending ads to me and they say, okay, put this in the Cayman Compass, because it has been around. So therefore, I'm now 10 years, but what I'm saying is, Radio Cayman, who's been here so long, when people listen to radio, it's Radio Cayman. Now, there are other players in the market and who are in business.
Of course, and it has broken up the sales market as well.
Of course. So what do you do as a radio station? I have to understand your role. Yes, everybody has, and we're talking to each other as media, as employees in media operations. What we find is that I may have a different product, and so therefore I can't do what you do. And I shouldn't want to do what you do. I want to create my own product.
That's right.
So therefore, the listeners that go to Radio Cayman will still go to you. But you know what? I want something different.
Right.
So going to Ralph platform.
Right. Yeah.
And so we cannot copy what you do and try to take your customers. We have to create a different product to bring. So that's, yes, in an environment where, of course.
But especially traditional radio, Ralph, it's very personal.
Yes.
Radio is a very personal thing. And I'm going to tell you now, Radio Cayman, some listeners will tell you, listen, my dial won't change from Radio Cayman. We know our listeners. We love our listeners, of course, but we know them as well. And they will tell you, I'm not switching to any other station, you know. But I mean, I'm an employee of Radio Cayman, and I switch around. I like to listen to other stations to hear what everybody else, just to listen. You know, it'll be stupid if I don't just sit here and say, well, I want to listen to Radio Cayman or Breeze FM. No, you listen to other people, listen to what's out there, you know, and just enjoy, right? But at Radio Cayman, we take this very personal. We love our listeners, and they in turn love us, right? They tune in, and that's the thing. When they want credible information, from a radio station, it's Radio Cayman, right? They want informative programs, it's Radio Cayman. You know, they want anything cultural, it's Radio Cayman. So we know the audience, we know who we're targeting and what they want. So basically, that of course adds to longevity of the business, of any business.
And one of the main draws for listeners to your station is your radio personalities.
Well, that too.
We're
not on a billboard anywhere. I don't see Susan on a billboard, but people, they all know Susan. They know Silver Fox, they know DJ Lynn, they know Doctor, they know the Iceman. You know, I can keep going on and on.
So the point I'm making, and maybe we focus on your station, because that's what we're doing here, basically is to promote what you do more. Don't take it for granted that, okay, because you were here the longest, that everybody's going to...
Yeah. No. Not these days, no.
This is free enterprise. We can't stop other people from coming and opening new stations or setting up a new paper.
But Ralph, sorry, don't mean to cut you.
That's okay.
But before I lose my train of thought, I just had a conversation with somebody the other day. One of the oldest, it's one of those design businesses, interior design business, you know, on the island. And I was asking, well, how's business? Business is steady business, okay, but it can be more. But there are other smaller, there are people who are coming and saying, look, I can do this for you. And they do everything online. They don't have to pay the pension. They don't have to pay those insurance, health insurance. They don't have those expenses, right? So of course they have to overhead. They have to put all into their budget, right? Whereas a single person can come into the island, get a work permit, and order something for you, and boom, it's done. So it's taking away from those businesses, those brick and mortar businesses.
Yes.
Same thing with radio. You have the smaller stations popping up, and you know. But everybody, we all have to live. We all have to eat, right?
And that's the price of progress.
Price of progress. I like that.
There's no standing still. You're either moving forward or backwards. So you have to embrace the times. This is a free enterprise business. Anybody can come here and set up a station, and that's fine. I welcome the competition because it makes me have to think harder. Like a newspaper. I know if I want to make my newspaper become the best newspaper, number one, I have to be creative.
That's right.
I have to let people know that, okay, this is Ralph Lewis newspaper, this is what I do, this is what you're going to get. And I have to keep changing and
keep
developing
moving.
and keep moving.
Yeah.
I can't sit back and say, okay, I'm
done.
I'm done. No.
Yeah, this is it. I'm done, right?
It's dynamic.
Yeah. So we can look for in the future from Caymanian Times. All the time. What can we look for?
Well, we're running out of time today. We're almost ready to close. So when I come back next time, I'll let you know where I am.
So there's a hint for Ralph to come back next time, okay? What can we say, Ralph? Ralph, it's been a pleasure having you in the studio this morning. Anything you want to leave with our listeners?
No, I just want to thank everybody for supporting Caymanian Times. And by the way,
the Conversation series.
It's a free newspaper, so please pick up your copy. We're getting good. We're going to have some things in there which you're not going to find online, and it's going to make you enjoy your weekend. Okay. So pick up a Caymanian Times, and if you want to get in touch with me, it's 916-2000.
Okay. Any email?
Yes, it's info@caymaniantimes.ky, and the website is caymaniantimes.ky.
And for them to keep an ear out for the start of the second season 2 of Conversations series.
Yes, Cayman Conversations.
September 4th.
Start early September.
And they'll have 3 broadcasts Monday through Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to be 4 days a week.
I hope you're doing your stuff, man.
4 days a week, but we're going to...
Congratulations.
We're going to make it bite-sized so you don't choke on all the information you want to.
Okay, we don't want to do that. Well, thank you so much. Good luck. Wish you all the best. And thanks for popping by Radio Cayman this morning. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center, and of course, Total Health. Thanks to all our listeners.
The Business Buzz is proudly
Thank you, Susan. Thanks to all the listeners and YouTube viewers. Justine, she was our first guest this morning. And of course, to Susan, she's the producer of the Business Buzz. Until Thursday, God's willing, we'll see you again for another Business Buzz, August 17th. In the meantime, please stay safe. Have a wonderful day. From me, your host, Anita. Goodbye.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services.
And Total Health in Grand Pavilion. Change the way you manage your family's health. Visit www.totalhealth.ky or call 333-2222.
Radio Cayman, the voice, the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.